All right, folks. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I got to be pretty motivated to be doing this at 8 o'clock when Tucker's on. Tucker's been on fire lately. Wasn't a super big Tucker fan. The dude's been epic. He's been taking a flamethrower to everybody that needs a flamethrower. Taken two. So that means I care about you guys. Welcome aboard. Susie's actually with who's she with? Kaylee, Jack, somebody. I don't know. Kids are scattered like the wind. But before she left, she said there's like 11, 10, close to single digits left for full throttle slot. So do me a favor, grab it now. After we get done tonight, we're essentially done with all the free full throttle stuff. What a great week. What a fantastic week so far. Hopefully, even if you don't sign up for a full throttle now, maybe down the road, hopefully I educated you on something. Yeah, oh yeah, I should record him. That's stupid. I can land a $65 million fighter aircraft on board an aircraft carrier at night in bad weather, and I probably can't figure that out. All right, so we did our welcome aboard. We did our weekly options brief, covered an FXI bullish trade, which is China, and China. Cheers. I said China, so well, I'm not doing a shot. A little Pinot Grigio. FXI bull put spread closed it today for a $3,000 profit. There's your full throttle max paid for an entire year with one trade. We did our primary live trade brief. Holy crap, man. Got bullish on MGM on the casino on a sin stock because they're opening tomorrow, or they're supposed to. Starting to hear some bad stuff that Antifa, how do you guys say it? I've heard different, I call them traitors, treasonous, and should be rounded up. But regardless, I'm glad we sold I got out of my MGM today. Can't tell you what to do. You can ride it. But I don't think it's a good look if we're getting soy boy white kids out of their basement to go burn Vegas. It's sad because now there's African Americans I've seen videos of African Americans like, what do you do? Stop rioting and looting or destroying property, man. You're making us look bad. Maybe this is all part of, well, I digress. So this is it, folks. Wednesday, 8 p.m. training demo. And I got a nice email through support from whoever the name was about how they've looked around at other financial education. We do training, but it was very nice. Like, hey man, you opened the door. 1, 2, 3. That's 5 free sessions. There are other people out there and services and companies who would charge $500 for access to these webinars. It was goose egg. Not only was it a goose egg, you could have potentially made $15,000. Close to, it was like 14,875. This is hopefully good stuff. So I'm going to go George Bush on this. Mission accomplished. Didn't that guy get screwed? See, this is what's good about doing the full throttle training at night. We usually do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays for about 4 weeks since there's 8 sessions. We're all gonna. And here's the cool thing: in the full throttle training, those 8 live sessions, Monday, Tuesday night with a glass of wine, we're in GoToWebinar because usually there's under 200 people, so we can be in GoToWebinar. Anything more than 200 people, we got to be in GoToTraining, which sucks because I have to sit here and read all the chat. In GoToTraining, it's awesome. You guys all get to chat back and forth and see each other, which is good and bad. Which is good because you all get to meet and chat back and talk, but it's bad because if you ask me a question, it usually blows by, but you just have to re-ask it. So full throttle training. If you're going to learn to fly and fight in F-18, it's probably a good idea to be in an F-18. Right? You can be in your F-16, kind of pick stuff up. But so as you've seen up until this point in the full throttle training, I use E-Trade. It was Trade Monster, then it was Options House. I helped build Options House when I was up in Chicago. So it's like me with a almost 3,000 hours in the Hornet, which sucks. I should have fat fingered a little bit more. I'm comfortable with it. It's the best teaching platform out there for options, period. And the tools are equal, if not better, to the proprietary tools that I saw maybe in some place in Chicago. So I strongly recommend that you open an E-Trade account, and you can also get that paper trading. A full disclosure, getting all the Uncle Sammy stuff I want to remain as far as I can from Uncle Sammy. I don't get paid If I had my, what is it, Series 3, I'd get paid a commission based on you. All I get is a $250 marketing fee, which, I throw in a Facebook ads. So, but I will disclose that there is a relationship there, but it's per funded account. But that's what I use, right? So yeah, it's etrade.com/topgun. We get a pretty decent deal with them as well. So life is good in the big city. We'll talk about some other services we can do here at Top Gun Options. We're working on some good stuff to get even etrade.com/topgun to get even better rates. Okay, the more we do business with a broker, the more they like us and the more they can give us discounts. This is the way. Everybody watching Billions yet? Yeah, you need to watch Billions on Showtime. It is a must watch. Okay. Christina, use that link and you will get the Top Gun commission rate, whatever it is. Okay, so full throttle training. So Full Throttle, the program is the 4 live trade briefs each week. The training is 8 live sessions 4 times a year. It's once a quarter. The last time we did it was February, right before the epic implosion, man. I strongly recommend you watch the replays. Notice I didn't say if you have time. You have got to watch the previous Full Throttle replays. I don't know if Goose is in here. Tamara wrote at the start of this, she's like, Wiz, I think this is Full Throttle 15 for her. She's been here for 3-ish years, 4-ish years. She learned something new every time. I got to be honest with you. I put out new stuff sometimes in these things too. I'm like, well, I didn't. Some people like Tamara who've been here and who've been to all 8 sessions 4 times a year is like, dude, that's a new one. I'm like, wow. Okay, I go do professional training, folks. I go attend webinars or hedge conferences and shit like that before we were all thrown in prison. So I continually do professional development. Okay, so watch the replays. Let me show you where they are, because by now you should be a member and signed up. Or if not, you're going to be by the end of this brief. So on the website, there's Goose. Tamara, I'm either a very slow learner or a glutton for punishment. You are neither. Okay, so Full Throttle. So go back and watch the previous sessions. I think they're on here from like 5 years ago. You don't have to go do all that, but it's interesting. I sitting on the couch with my Macallan 18 sipping that. I've gone back in time to look at some of these things. I'm like, oh my God, the things we have been through, and some of the market calls that have been made. Full Throttle session 8. So iron condors, bullish spreads, bear spreads, double verticals, covered calls. I think the one at the beginning of the year, it's funny. I was scrolling through it, and the lead picture on this was where is it? Remember how long ago this was? It seems like it ages ago. When was this one? This was September of 2019. Where's the first one? It had Jesse Smollett as the cover slide. I had the judge, whatever, YouTube just picks an image from the video. It was the Jesse Smollett. I'm like, my God, man, we've traded through some craziness. What am I rambling about? I'm rambling about, I think it's in 2 weeks, we are going to start the Monday, Tuesday night live ones back again. When you become a member, and for all the new folks that have already signed up, get in here now. And in the next 2 weeks, get up to speed. Go watch an old Full Throttle session 7 synthetic stock and long call diagonals on, look at that, Amazon. You will be a true Shaolin Prince when you can walk on the rice paper and leave no trace, or take this pebble from my hand, or go back and watch all of as many as you can. Does that make sense? So. Yeah, no shit, Chris. Jesse Smollett will likely resurge and become a hero due to all the recent cops. You know what, man? I don't even want to. No. Okay. So please watch the replays. And you're going to, I put that in bold and italicized it. Why? Because you're going to hear me say that during the live trade briefs. And I'm not being, folks, when I'm direct and blunt, it's not rudeness. It's funny. People, oh, that guy yells at people or whatever. If you do what's required, I'm your best friend. It was the same thing whenever I ran a company or something like that. Like, oh my, you can be a little, I'm like, usually the times when I'm a little wink is somebody's not doing what is expected of them. What is expected of you is if you're going to undertake this mission, if you're going to be the pilot in command of your portfolio, do it. Bury your face in the manuals, watch the replays, paper trade. Folks, trading is a form of combat. If you want to be half pregnant, you're going to get killed. You're going to get wiped out. Okay? So why am I on this tangent rant? Because you'll hear me say, watch the replays in a live trade brief. I'll get a question in the primary live trade brief, like, hey, how do you manage a whatever? I'll be like, I'm not going to take bandwidth during a live trade brief where it's something I cover for an hour and a half with a glass of wine. So I will say that sentence numerous times. And I can tell people who haven't watched the Full Throttle training based on the questions they ask. So again, I'm not being rude, I'm being blunt. You have responsibilities here. I got the flight school in Pensacola like a month early. I went and bribed the old lady at the school's command that gave out the manuals, brought her some cheesecake. I found out what she loved because I got my manuals a month early and I didn't leave my house, man. I literally became a monk. I had a 1-bedroom house in Whiting and in Milton, Florida, in the middle of the woods, and I became a monk. Okay, so do it. Here's the 8 sessions. So again, Sunday night, I put up that slide of the dude drinking from a fire hose. We don't need a coach with a feather duster and flowers. We need a coach. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Patrick, I love access to the previous trainings. I'm on my 4th or 5th cycle through them all. That's another dude who knows what he's doing. Him, Goose, Tamara, I can tell the people that are motivated, and then I can tell the people who are sitting there with their mouth open just hoping for trade ideas. It's not how this works. I don't want to be that guy. I can't stand that. Especially because when something goes wrong, you can blame it on me, right? I love some of these other trading services. People get pissed off like, that guy lost. No, that guy didn't, or gal didn't. You did. You're the pilot in command. So here's the training. I said if by Wednesday night, if you were new to options or investing, you didn't feel like you're drinking from a fire hose, I failed. Hopefully everybody who isn't familiar with the stuff is drinking from the fire. And you know what's really cool that just hit me as I was rambling? A bunch of the people in this room right now are TGO members and have been for years. This is a marketing presentation to show potential new members, and they still show up. That's the motivation, because they know there might, maybe, depends on how many glasses of wine, be some good shit that I put out tonight. But we're going to take a building block approach. This is the market. This is where I get some of my intelligence. This is how I interpret it. This is the trade plan, session 1. Session 2, this is a call. This is a put. And the basics of options, aerodynamics, man. This is engines, meteorology, and just me sitting in Pensacola, Florida, drinking from a fire hose. Covered calls, we talked about those today in accelerated retirement. Bullish spreads, bearish spreads, double verticals, diagonals, and synthetic stock iron condors. If these names didn't make sense to you, that was like me showing up to Pensacola watching an F-18 taxi by and go, I don't even know, holy crap, how do you get there? You get there. It's a building block approach. I'm telling you, man, I completely didn't steal. I got all this stuff. I modeled the Full Throttle training after the Navy. It can take a dude or a lady who's never even seen an airplane and in a short amount of time turn them into a steely-eyed fighter pilot killer, landing and departing off an aircraft carrier. You can do it too. Okay? Now, we will be done tonight with Full Throttle. A bunch of people throughout the week of what's this solo Amazon? The name implies it's a separate service. It's not in the Full Throttle Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for Full Throttle briefs. We do this every Monday at 2 p.m. Solo Amazon, you ready for this? We just trade Amazon. We also trade XLY, but it's not included in Full Throttle. But I'm going to do that tomorrow. We already did one Monday, and we have to talk about XLY, which going against us, me. It'll be tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So for folks who are like, hey, man, I can't swing the $295 for monthly membership, it's $97. Like I said, that the bottle of 1942 cost a hell of a lot more. Standalone service, it's Mondays at 2. We trade Amazon, but we also trade XLY. Folks, Amazon, you can't, they just, I saw today that they've leased a bunch of new airplanes. They will be bigger than FedEx and UPS combined. Amazon is taking over the world. You might just, if you haven't signed up for Full Throttle yet, you might just want to do solo Amazon. Dip your toe in the water. That's the Call that the gateway drug to Top Gun options, man. Do solo Amazon. $97. We'll talk about it tomorrow. This isn't a solo Amazon brief. I'm just giving you a heads up that tomorrow we're going to do it at 1 o'clock. I made it the same link as all the Full Throttle ones, but again, it's not included. Okay. All right. Getting close to being done with all the marketing crap. Okay. All right. Well, shit, you already know who I am. That's enough of this stuff. Hey, last shameless marketing plug. And the only reason I bring it up is because somebody ordered one when they got their Full Throttle thing. If you want a Tucker's on a roll, thanks for teasing me. I'll rewind it here. Hey, if you want a signed book, go here. Go.topgunoptions.com/book. I'll sign it. I'll drop it in the mail. I think in the past couple months, I've sent out. Susie ordered, the last time she ordered a pallet of 300 books, and they are almost all gone out in the office. So I will sign it, drop it in the mail tomorrow if you buy it tonight. It's not just about trading. It's literally called From Sea Level to Sea Level. It's essentially how I went from the cockpit to the trading pit. This isn't a shameless plug because I need the $35. It's a shameless plug because it gives you my mindset mentality on the markets and methodologies, folks. This is the Bible. Okay. I'm currently writing another book about the COVID crash and how we nailed it, and all the quote smart money was wrong and stupid, and we weren't, and how we literally made millionaires. So thank you, Tamara. It is a great read. Just ask me. No, I feel good. There's some videos on this page of me that I gave a keynote in Vegas to McKesson. You see this dude right here? He's the highest paid CEO in the world, Mike Hammergren. He's the CEO of McKesson. You ready for this? The year what was this? I forget when it was. I had a lot more hair and I was thinner. He made $145 million. That was his compensation as CEO at McKesson. Real quick, funny story, and then we'll get into some sample training. I think you guys are going to appreciate this. This is funny. Anyway, this was in Vegas. Where were we? What's the Italian one? We were at the Italian one, the ritzier Italian one. And I come out, so it was McKesson's it is like the largest like medical company in the world. It's the Fortune 7 company. Fortune 7, Venice. Thank you, Karen. That was it was the Venice, I think. Anyway, 1,500 people in this keynote, mostly medical sales reps. So if you have situational awareness about life, you know that most medical sales reps are what? Let's just say there were 1,300 women in the audience and about 200 dudes. You got to watch these clips. They didn't capture this, or I think actually McKesson edited this out. Here's what happened. Karen, you're going to like this. I ran up on the stage, welcome, Matthew Buckley, whiz, bah, bah, bah. And, I mean, my keynote, first of all, McKesson has their own AV, obviously, arm of the company. I mean, the sound I felt like it was Bon Jovi. Anyway, I run out there and I, good afternoon. Yeah, bye. I start going. And the lady's like, this lady in the front, I'll never forget, like fur, boots. I mean, yeah. She goes, wait, well, hold on. Are you the Thunder from Down Under? I'm like, no. She's like, oh, wait a minute. You're for real? I'm like, yeah. You want to pinch me? I shit you negative. This woman gets up, runs all the way up on stage and runs up and pinches me. The place goes absolutely apeshit. They thought I was a stripper. So I'm fairly certain that's why McKesson edited the beginning out of, you got it, Slash. Yep, that's exactly what happened, man. It was epic. I got a standing ovation on that one. I think it was more for the comedy of it than it was the actual my delivery of whatever. So yeah, that was I'll never forget that. Are you for real? I'm like, yeah. Thought I was a stripper. All right, let's start. Oh yeah, Well, sorry about that. Yeah, I thought I put them in the chat box. Here's the monthly. It's $295 a month. We looked at $15,000 in potential. If you did the MGM and FXI trades as briefed, it was 14,875 by the closing bell. So again, the one guy who's like, dude, I can't even believe you give this stuff away. I'm like, how else can? I'm not one of those folks. I can't. When I get invited to speak at other, like, hey, Wiz, we have a 45-minute time slot for you to like present. I'm like, what? So you want me to give a 92-point PowerPoint slide presentation about what I do? I'm like, no. The last one I did, I forget who it was with. Like they had 8 traders every 45 minutes. I didn't even quote sell anything. I'm like, just register for our full throttle. I don't need to. How can you buy something after a 45-minute presentation from a dude you don't even know? So, Ron, I got your meat right here. All right, so here we go. Not a good day for secretaries of defense, or if you're on the other side of the fence, not a good day for the president. So today, almost, I mean, General Mattis versus, my God, how many years in the Marine Corps? 4-star secretary. The man's a fantastic human being and American. But, and I don't think the dude can crank out an article for the Atlantic in like 15 minutes. The timing of Esper more or less saying, hey man, it was a photo op. I didn't know anything about it. Not for using troops in America. He totally went Brutus on Caesar today. The Secretary of Defense and the press secretary is like, as of now, he's still Secretary of Defense. The dude's gone. The guy, I didn't talk to him. He put a dead sign on a text message. So Esper will, now it's just based on the timing. Does firing Esper inflame this whole thing? And then, so within an hour or two after Esper taking a flamethrower to the president, General Mattis, who said, I can't stand when cabinet people or former people leave and then flamethrow their former boss. And today, if you please read this article. And again, I am no dyed-in-the-wool Trump supporter, folks. I lost friend. I was called a coward, and I was called a lot worse by former F-18 squadron mates of mine of my criticism of Trump. I was like, holy crap. People have inverted Trump derangement syndrome. How dare I criticize Donald Trump? Lost friendships, folks. So this is, why am I rambling about this and we're not talking about options training? Because this can move the market, folks. If the market for 0.02 seconds believes that Joe Biden can actually win, the market will be down a minimum. Write this down, the date and the time I'm predicting this. The market will be down 20 to 25%. If he wins on election night, if it already hadn't crashed, it will crash on election night. I sat on that porch at 3 o'clock in the morning, and that was the first easiest money I'd ever made. I'm like, Donald Trump's going to win. The market's going to rally 20%. I got it wrong. It rallied 22% that year, not 20. I was off by 2%. So, well, Rick, I'm with you, man. They weren't friends. I thought they were friends. I can't. You criticize Trump, be the man in the ring and take. I'm like, hey, man, I don't. My God, he was in a well. Now he's in a tough position. The COVID thing, it was bullshit. He had beaten the impeachment. He had beaten Bob Mueller. Stock market at record highs, unemployment at record lows. He just beat China, we thought, into a phase 1 trade deal. The dude's on cloud 9, and he was told about this. He was warned repeatedly, and he ignored it. He saw it as another bullshit hoax. Come on, folks. You remember the 40,000 people in an arena shit? He didn't he called the coverage of it. He didn't call COVID. Trust me, I'm writing a book and we're doing research about it. I know all the quotes the guy made. Why am I rambling about this? Because aside from China, Joe Biden can bring this market down. So let's put the acronym up on the screen again. DRINC. Drink. Democrats, Russia, Iran, North Korea, China. I'm telling you, folks, this rally, which is on Fed, Hopium, and the Fagums, can implode, right? Royce, I'm saying a minimum of 20 to 25%. I will not battle you if you think it's going to go down 50%. We were up here. This was a MacGyver rally anyway. Folks, the Fed was pumping in money when things were good. Now look at us. Things are horrific. And here comes Uncle Fed again. So this is why I'm taking a lot of time to do this. First of all, I don't jump in and do training. Every night that we do, the 8 nights, the 8 sessions of the live full throttle, it is led with a intelligence brief. I never did any military exercise, folks, that didn't have a quote real world application, right? There was, before any training exercise, it always was led with, hey, here's why we're doing this, and here's the practical application. Because to be honest with you, when I was driving back from the gym and I heard about this Mattis article, and then I got home and I read it, I'm like, oh, it changes a lot, folks. I get that the headlines are still riots and this and that and all sorts of stuff, but at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, literally 2 secretaries of defense within hours of each other. Folks, this isn't Brazil. This isn't a banana dictatorship, right? We have civilian control of the military. When the civilian control of the military is saying the president isn't kind of doing things right now, is scary. It's very, 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 very scary, right? Okay. Mike, drink is good, but I like crinkle. China, Russia, Iran. Yeah. Remember, and liberals at the end. Folks, remember, this is why I'm rambling again, is because I was up on my board. I had Disney, I had Raytheon, I had a bunch of different ways I wanted to go tonight. But or I was going to put it up for a vote. On this list, let's go back to that full throttle list of training. Which ones appeal to you the most to do tonight? Should we talk about hedging and getting safe right now? Do you want to get bullish and talk through other stuff? What do you want to do? So let's take a look. What do you want to do? Warning, bandwidth. Oh, man, I got another Wrath of God storm. All right, I got to kill that. Bandwidth. Consider reducing camera. Okay. Something's wrong with the internet. Okay, let me take a look at this. Let me kill the camera because I'm getting a camera warning for bandwidth. Hedging, bullish, 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 verticals, hedging, 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 diagonals, bullish, diagonal and synthetic stock, credit spreads, cautiously bullish, long, short calls and puts. I think I probably should have made that a poll. I think we should probably go with the safer thing. And I feel better about that. I want to go with, because after you become a member tonight, we are going to go through all of those things in full throttle sessions. I would add Disney and Raytheon. Out of the 2 of those that I was going to talk about tonight, we're gonna do hedging because I'm not doing my job if we're all just peace, love, and understanding. Things are going to get bad. RTX. It used to be RTN. It was Raytheon, and United Technologies and Raytheon merged, or actually one UTX bought Raytheon. I forget what it was because I haven't traded this in a while. This, ladies and gentlemen, talking about RTX tonight might even be a potential hedge. I'm telling you, man, there are ladies and gentlemen sitting in rooms right now thinking through what is Iran going to do, what's North Korea going to do, what is Russia up to. I'm telling you, folks, for a fact, something will happen before the election. It is a fact, period, right? Oops, sorry. So RTX is, this is going to be bad. So again, being Gordon Gekko, it will be bullish we traded this with the Iran strikes and everything like that. I would not do Disney. Listen to me. I just said an October surprise. I was going to be bullish, and this is why we did those MGM calls out to September. I am doing nothing bullish past October. You just can't. And that, I got to be honest with you, I know Amazon, we'll talk solo Amazon tomorrow, but Amazon with its monster run, I would be getting out, write this down now, solo Amazon members, I would be getting out of Amazon before October. And now, I'm saying that now, let's just keep an eye on the battle space. Oh my God, how about Esper saying that? He even apologized for that. Did you hear, the other day when he used the word, that that's another drinking game, folks, is like when, uh, whenever you hear the word lethality, drink, or whenever you hear the word battle space, in order to make command in the military, you have to go to like a war college and they teach you all these words. But he used the word battle space when he was. I got what he meant, but it didn't come over well. It sounded like he was talking about the United States as like a battle space, and that just didn't. So this guy is, uh, he knows he's not an idiot. The guy served on active duty and reserves. He was the Secretary of the Army. This is, but using the term battle space when you're talking about the United States of America, I mean, holy Abraham Lincoln, Batman, suspend habeas corpus, and here we go. Barry, when I say before October, do you mean at the end of September or the end of the October option cycle? I mean, I got to be honest with you, folks. I'd say September, because October might be cutting it close for whoever is going to do whatever they're going to do. And I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I'm trying to get a call with a buddy who would be deeper into this, and not that he's pissed, he's just fairly busy. How about all of these things happening? Does anybody know where North Korea got its ballistic missile technology? You don't have to type the answer. It's Iran. You see a lot of North Korean dudes in uniforms over in Iran and vice versa. Do they bookend the president? Do we get squeezed as a little cream of some young guy, launch a couple bottle rockets as Iran attacks U.S. forces in Iraq, or something along those lines? It is an absolute probability. So good question, Barry. I would, well, this is why you should be a Top Gun Options member. We're going to be trading this daily as it's going on. I'm very passionate about this, and I will tell you, my knees and the hair on the back of my neck are standing straight up if we're in September. We're in June right now. We're Dow 2600 or 26,000, 2600. S&P, above 3,000 again. This is, thank you, Kathy. Good reminder. All the while, China takes Taiwan. Folks, please don't sit here and tell me that you don't think Putin, Xi, the Ayatollah, and cream of some young guy might not be talking. If I were one of those dudes, I'd initiate the phone call. My God, the guy running against Trump has dementia and he's in his basement. Or do we want Trump? Okay, so we're going to go with the hedging part. Why did I lean in this direction? Because I would not be bullish on. I might be short-term bullish on Disney. I mean, look at that. Hey, we're reopen. Yeah. We pounded Disney into the dirt back in the day. Great trades on Disney, bearish trades. That was another prediction we got. I mean, I'm not going to do a victory lap on that, but right around here, what did I predict? The parks were going to close. A week later, the parks closed. Boom. I mean, that, I'm not going to, like I said, pat myself on the back for that. But remember, folks, this COVID thing was raging. Karen in Orlando, all of us in Florida were like, oh my God, Disney is still, when are they going to close this? When are they going to close it? When are they closed? Oh, okay. We pounded that thing into the dirt. So here's what I'm getting at. I would not do, I would fly I'd fly front month and be bullish, but you got to know this is, oh geez. That's not a good. All right. So, yeah, let's not do Disney. Let's focus on hedging our portfolio against loss. Yeah, Tamara, exactly. They closed. Yeah, remember that? They closed Disney Shanghai. They closed the stuff overseas. I'm like, they obviously know how bad it got. Folks, this wasn't that tough to see. Zero Hedge was fantastic. Even Tom Cotton guy, we were watching videos of crematoriums in Wuhan working 24/7. We had videos of dudes just standing in the street in Wuhan dropping dead. We had videos that were smuggled out of trucks pulling up, throwing people in the back, never to be seen again. We had videos of them digging up the highways around Wuhan. They knew what this was, folks. Ain't no social distancing. They literally went medieval on this stuff. They knew what it was. So, okay, so let's talk through this. Let's talk about an ejection seat and hedging. First of all, there is an option. The firm I used to work at, we used to want to be what is called delta neutral, right? And here's what's funny. The term hedge fund means what? I know you're getting thrilled for what you paid for that information. It's the truth. 9,800, 10,000 hedge funds. You know how many of them hedge? Probably a couple hundred, right? If you're a long only fund, you're not hedged, guys. So the term hedge fund is a lie for most hedge funds. I know I'm the Hedge Fund Association. I'm a member. I used to go to these conferences. I'm not a Zoom conference guy. I need to be there and buying 1942 and getting information. So the yeah, they don't hedge, folks. They most of them are long only. Remember, if you're not an options guy or gal like us, you look at these as like a nuisance or like a second class citizen. I own 100,000 shares of this. I'm like, yeah, I own 1,000 contracts, and we have the same. Actually, I have more leverage, and I can potentially have higher percentage returns. Why are you trading? Why are you tying up all your capital in a stock? It's stupid. But they also look at like when I've gone and taught people in hedge funds and stuff like this about hedging, guess what? Usually the look I get. Wait, but that's coming out. If I'm buying puts to protect this position, that's less money than I'm making. I'm like, dude, you're a trader. I'm a fighter pilot and a trader. Plan for both engines failing. So when it happens, you're fine and you're actually can make money. No, and you know, I usually don't get the follow up. I know what happens to funds after I talk to them, and some of them rarely do I get that follow up text or phone call that was a "you were right, Wiz, and we should have listened." I know. So, um, yeah. All right. So, taking a look at the S&P 5. Here's why I was talking about delta neutral and hedge funds. Can you ever truly be hedged? You don't have to type the answer. The answer's no. Right? I'm a father. Love Michael. One's at hockey, one's at cheerleading. I don't know what Matthew's doing. He's got a girlfriend. He's 20. My parents lost a daughter. I lost a sister. You can't completely protect your children, right? I mean, you could put them in bubble wrap, put them up in their room, never let them have a cell phone. Or yeah, they can be John Travolta, Bubble Boy. You can't live. There's no return on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, you can't be absolutely hedged, or you won't make a nickel. It's physically impossible, right? But it can protect or take the sting out of a potential loss. Let's begin with this statement. Every trade at Top Gun Options that I'll teach you, every tactic, not strategy, is hedged. A spread is hedged. Buying calls is hedged. There is limit. You know your downside. The loss is limited. You own a stock, that stock can go to zero. You're in a spread, you're in a spread. And the risk is defined. Okay? So let's just lead with that. Do we even need to hedge at Top Gun Options? The answer is no. I do not sell naked calls, which is you'll learn about in training. I do not sell naked puts, which you'll learn about in training. I've done, you ready for it? cash secured puts, which means I have the coin in my account in case those puts get assigned, or the shares. So step one is, do we need to hedge? If you're here, you don't. I'm throwing out the term hedge more to the point of like back here, right? Right there, January 22nd, a date which will live in infamy in my life in a good way, when I knew Trump was lying and we got bearish. And then this time, when we pounded this thing into the dirt, buying puts on the S&P 500, bearish double verticals on name. Man, this was that wasn't hedging, that was trading, right? The tactic that we talked about this afternoon in accelerated retirement, called the collar, you own the stock, you sell an upside call to buy some downside put protection. Technically, I guess you could call that a hedge. But what I'm getting at is, what I want to talk through in our time together, remaining time together, is trading to the downside. What names do you think are the high flyers right now? You don't have to answer because we've covered it all week. You can mix those letters up however you want. Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Google, Microsoft, right? These names are freaking stellar. You could throw in some other insane names, right? You could throw in a Tesla, or what is it? My God, I haven't even, my hands shake when I type this letter. It's insanity. What is it at? $882. We did some Tesla back here in the COVID crash. Look at that thing. Boom. It just doesn't, it's insanity. CMG. Yeah, exactly. So we want to, oh my gosh, Eli or Eric, good catch. I love this. I'm wearing different Lulus. Lulu. I even know what this. I'm a hot yoga guy now, man. But look at that. This thing. Look at the top. I'll teach you what this is. This is a Keltner channel. I'll teach you what a Keltner channel is. But look at this. 1, 2, 3 outside the top of the Keltner channel is a look at that rip. What I'm getting at is I'm kind of starting to go through my my trading plan. Step one, what is my strategic mindset? You saw it all week. Big C, little b. Cautiously bullish, right? Step two of the trade plan is to identify the target. Christina, yeah, that's a little bit of it. I don't think that's a lot of bit of it. The opening up of America and China is why, but yeah, that's a great point. I went to Lifetime today. I love it. It's dead. I mean, it used to be packed after work at Lifetime Fitness in Boca. First of all, it's like a club to meet. It's funny. I'm married, but I mean, the people, it's like a singles place. It's dead. What are people doing? I mean, are people hiding under their desks still? I'm kidding. So this would be, rioting. Good point. Thankfully not in Boca. There was a little bit of a move on the mall. Keely and Susie went to the mall the other day. Louis Vuitton, all the stores cleaned all their stuff out. The stores were empty, like literally empty. So identifying a target right now. I would prefer to, and somebody asked about the rut earlier. Let's look at the rut. Anybody know what the rut is? The Russell so the S&P 500. I'm not talking down to you if you already know this. Some people who I know are in this room who are brand new. SPX is the S&P Standard & Poor's 500 index. Guess how many names are in it? It's like that Bugs Bunny episode. Who's buried in Grant's tomb? There's 500 names in there. Stocks. The RUT. Let's take a look at the RUT. It's the Russell 2000. For all the political science majors in the room like me, there's 2,000 stocks in here. They are small cap. They aren't big grown up. Well, I'm not going to say that. They aren't as the market cap. Look at it versus the S&P 500. But you know for a fact, since I've briefed it almost every day this week, the FAGMs are leading this rally in the S&P 500. The RUT the 2,000 companies in America or wherever that are it's the little engine that could right now. I think I can. I two schools of thought here. The reason I was asking you about which names will be adversely affected is because if we get an October surprise, money has to flow somewhere, folks, right? Right now, it's all flowing into the Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Google, Microsoft. That's just, it's a fact, folks. There's nothing I can say to change that. Every guy and the couple gals on my institution, every one of them owns Apple and Amazon. It is what we call a crowded trade. So crowded trades, ladies and gentlemen, also tend to be what? Uncrowded pretty damn quickly, especially if things are going south. So the question we have to ask is, do we think if there's an October surprise? I don't know what it's going to be, man. I'm racking my brain. I'm using my Rolodex. I'm doing everything I can to try and go Nostradamus on this. Is an Amazon and an Apple that big to stand up to whatever's going to? And ladies and gentlemen, in my 10 years of Top Gun Options, I've said this sentence a couple times, and I mean it. I want to be wrong. One of the best times I was wrong was what? October of 2018, was it? Or 17? Karen, you remember before Lake Tahoe. You ready for this, folks? There were 3 carrier strike groups, a CSG, 3 carrier strike groups in the Pacific. There has been that much iron in one place in the Pacific since the Battle of Midway. I knew the commanding officers of every carrier, all 3 of them, and the air wings. One of them was V8, Doug Verissimo. He was a Blue Angel. V8's a good friend of mine. He was a commander of the air wing on one of the ships. I know for a fact, 17, that's right, Tamara, you didn't listen. I know for a fact it was a go. Donald Trump was going to attack North Korea. Strategic spots, not like firebombing Dresden. You know what? And this is in a book being written from somebody I may or may not know. The president, they flew a global, whatever it was. I don't follow UAVs. They offend me as a fighter pilot. He got like literally like a crosshair on the dude's forehead and said, you know what? I'm not going to attack North Korea. I'm going to kill you. That's what did it. So in October, I forget when it was in October, we were going to Tahoe that next month for a TGO event. It was awesome, the good old days. I said, I want to be wrong. I got into cash, I got long volatility, and got short the market. I was wrong. And I went to Lake Tahoe and I bought a case of Camus for everybody because I love being wrong in that case. So why am I bringing this up? I want to be wrong about September, October. When I'm right on bad things, it's usually people got hurt, and that's not good. Even Gordon Gekko would sit here and say that's just not good. Or maybe he wouldn't. What the hell's the RUT symbol here? $? Not Ruth, Chris. $, RUT. Somebody said they couldn't find RUT. I think depending on your trade platform, you have to maybe type in a $sign or something like that. Stephen, good intel. If the Fed doesn't extend extra unemployment benefits past July, 40 million people will start emptying their 401ks and IRAs. Yeah, I don't trade IWM though, but maybe we can just pull it up because it's close. Remember, folks, what did I tell you Sunday night? Sunday night, Uncle Wiz, as your uncle, not as your tax attorney or your accountant, gave you this little tidbit. Do not ever trade an ETF, ever, when you can, if it's got an index. Do not trade IWM, trade the RUT. When you become a member, maybe you can get in the ready room and you can talk to your fellow members about what that is. And I just saved, maybe with the tax benefits, you just paid for an annual Full Throttle membership. Now it's not working. Anyway, let's go back to here. So the RUT, well, the IWM, where is it right now? We haven't talked about the RUT, the Russell in a while. It's right there. Look at the little drill bit today. Where was the little drill bit today reaching up to? It's like a submarine periscope, right at the 200-day moving average. Look at this. It hit the 50-day with some airspeed and stalled, and then bounced off it, and then came back down to it. Look at that drill bit right there. And then this is a perfect example of a wizism that I used often. It's 90-ish% true. The markets don't like staying between moving averages. These moving averages, ladies and gentlemen, that 200-day, that 50-day are magnets. Why? Algos, humans. Through it, back down to it, off it, back down to it, rip higher to the 200. Been doing this for 28 years. I see it all the time. So this is a lot of rambling commit criteria getting to, I would be, if you want to not hedge, but if you want to have some bearish trades on, and actually, I didn't want to turn it into this lecture, but look at this word that we made up last year. A tredge. A tredge is a trade. Ladies and gentlemen, with a hedge, I want to lose money. Whoa, dude. You waited till Wednesday night to sound like an idiot? Let me say that again. With a hedge, I want that to, and I'm saying it wrong. It's not losing money. If you're the type of weirdo that sits at their kitchen table every month and goes, my God, I lost money this month on my USAA auto, home, and life insurance, you got something wrong with you. A trade, I want to make money, lots of it. Gordon Gekko, brick cell phone in the Hamptons money. Trade, money. Hedge, sleep better. A tredge, I've turned it into a tredge lecture. A tredge, ladies and gentlemen, is a trade that also acts as a hedge for your portfolio. Thank you, good night, try the veal. What a good, we turn this into it. So, oh, is it hashtag rut? Thank you, whoever just said that. I knew one of you guys was going to help me out with this. Nope, that didn't work. I don't know what it is on stock charts, whatever. So, ladies, I watched Wall Street again yesterday. This is a requirement, folks. This, you know what? I'll do that at the end. You have a required reading list. I'm going to give you a required reading list that you must read. Not only just the 8, this will make you a better investor. Yeah, I put the caret in there. Is it slash rut? All right, this is turning into too much here. Nope, not slash rut. I put caret. I put the caret in there. Up caret rut. All right, guys. Whatever. We'll stick with the Russell, the IWM, which I don't. We'll have it over on the screen. All right. Here's what I'm getting at. So the first thing we can do, if we are, you know what, I want to get a little bit protection on. The first thing you do is pat yourself on the back because you're smart. I'm telling you, I told you this today, folks. If you're laying in bed at night and you got a shit potted long positions on and you're laying there, you won't be able to sleep, especially when the market does that, because that's a distinct possibility. Jeffrey Gunlock, even though he's been wrong in shorting this market, ain't an idiot. He's a smart dude, right? So I guarantee you, laying in bed, you're probably sitting there going, man, there's a lot of smart people out there that think this. You don't want to be the one who wakes up and in your bunny slippers, drinking your coffee, sees the futures down 1,000 points. Me, the way I trade, if I see that, I'm like, all right, I got some longs that'll get kicked in the teeth. But we are in spreads. I have defined risk that I've used in my SOP. And right now, and I have some on that I put last week, it is time to buy some protection. We could do the standard. I got to be honest with you, man. When I instruct hedge funds, if you are one of the 223 people in this room who can understand that buying a put means if this market goes down, I can make money, you are smarter than about 80% of the hedge fund people I know. I do it, folks. I go to these conferences. I've kind of stood in a conversation where a guy's like, yeah, so we bought some downside protection. We bought puts. Everybody's like, whoa, wow, look at you. I'm like, oh man. I just kind of stand there. I'm like, yeah, that's epic, Captain Kirk. So I would buy puts on the Russell, not the IWM, down here at this. If we are going to, again, markets don't like living between these moving averages. It is a magnet. We will see that 50-day moving average in the blink of an eye if in October we have a surprise, and we're going to. I gave you the speech about how I love being wrong in those type of cases. I'm not. Does anybody in this room think that the drinks are going to let Donald Trump sail through September and October into November with an up market and nothing going on? Even the murder hornets are gone. It's not going to happen. Again, I keep saying this because I'm trying to help. Even if you don't become a TGO member, please. Yeah, exactly, Thomas. Only if they impeach him first. You're right. Chuck Schumer already threw out the I word today. If the president deployed troops on U.S. soil and peaceful protest, he should be impeached. For the love of God, man. So I would buy. What's the bottom here on the rut? Oh, that's right. It broke 1,000. I remember. We did some puts back here on the rut. I forget what they did. I don't remember. But what's that moving average? 12. Yeah. So it bottomed down. See, you just add a number to the end of the IWM, and it's the rut. It broke 100. The rut broke 1,000. Okay, it's a derivative of IWM. Here's what I don't understand. Why would you trade the derivative IWM of a derivative, the rut? Well, why don't you just trade? It's stupid. Whatever. I just don't. And you get tax benefits. Okay, so let's go out there. And this right here, folks, this red line, this 1253 is the 50-day moving average. If you are short-term bearish, when I say short-term, I mean like the next month. What did we get in May, ladies and gentlemen? Anybody ever hear the term sell in May and go away? What happened in our May this year? A rip your face off rally. This has been a steady climb, folks. You don't have to preach to me. The Fed and the opening, we're reopened from COVID. 2 million people didn't die, only 100,000. Only 100,000. I get it, man. But we could go out and buy some puts. Now I had dudes from Ukraine, China, all over the place. And I don't even think we ever got to it. Like a retail, I was trying to do this at the Options News Network, like a retail investor. Literally, I remember this. I think I still have like the schematics in my old Chicago boxes because it was for me. I wanted this. Instead of being with a whiteboard with dudes from Ukraine, China, and all sorts of places that just they eat Mountain Dew and pizza and don't leave the firm and just code and figure stuff out. I wanted a simple retail investor form that would say, I have $100,000 portfolio and I want to protect it this much. What tactic, not strategy, does it spit out? We tried for so long on that. And we never got to it. Because why? I'm like, this is booger eater time. I'm not going to do that. There's so many variables. Here's why am I rambling about this? Because if I'm just going to buy some, what were they? What was the 50-day? Now let's stick with October. If we're going to have an October surprise, I'll go Jeffrey Gunlock on you. We will retest the March lows. We won't retest them. We'll go through them. So especially right now, ladies and gentlemen, as the Russell's having a rip your face off rally, these puts should be relatively cheap, or they might not be because people are smart, or some people on Wall Street are smart like us. If we bought 10 of the October to cover us through October, because the election's the first week in November, right? I mean, something could happen right before the election, but that would be a little too, obvious. So You could, yeah, whoever just asked that, yeah. If you wanted, it's always better, folks, to give yourself a little bit more time. Do you want to go through the election? Go to the November 20 AM means AM expiration, or the end of the month. Yeah, no, I have no problems with that, guys. Let's do it uh, to cover us through November. This gets us through the election, right? I guarantee you, the day after Trump is reelected, you don't hear a word about coronavirus, murder hornets, or anything bad. They'll be on something else to try and impeach him. So buying 10, probably about 5. That's 11. And folks, even remember, one contract, ladies and gentlemen, is a lot of, if this thing implodes all the way down, remember, let's analyze if you just buy this put. If it implodes, look at your potential upside, man. Even just one contract coming out of pocket, 23, 30. This is, if you, and again, I'm not saying you as in you an individual, I'm talking to the 300 people in the room right now about that helps you sleep at night. If you are long only this market right now and buying everything with both hands and you don't do this, I don't know how you sleep. But even just buying one of these would help you sleep a little bit better. 5 of them is with my model portfolio. I don't want to risk about more than 10 on any one trade. I have no problems with 11.5. I haven't done this in my PA or Susie's PA personal account yet. I will this week. We just keep rolling higher here, folks. As we start rolling higher, guys like me start slowing out of the formation. I'm telling you. And how many times for all the current TGO members have I given you a Wall Street Journal headline or some intelligence like, here comes the retail trader, or hey, it's really fashionable at cocktail parties to start talking again about how you're shorting volatility. 1 potato, 2 potato, market implodes, volatility explodes. We've been pretty, in the 10 years of Top Gun options, we've nailed these. Right now, it's FOMO. There's a shit. You look at TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, whatever else, Interactive Brokers, TradeStation. These guys are opening retail accounts like you read about. There are so many 1 and 2 lot and 10 lot contract options trades going through. This is a retail rally right now. The institutional guys I network with are all starting to talk like this as well about. And again, I'm the token. They love me because they can talk nice in the Hamptons about how they're hedging and placing puts in their portfolio. Okay, so Joe, the reason I'm using the RUT and not the S&P 500 is because of that. So at the beginning of this, folks, we talked about who is keeping the S&P 500 up. 5 names. There are 4. I briefed you 3 days this week on this. You ready? Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google are up 15% year to date. The other 495 stocks in the S&P 500 are down 8%. They are not partaking in said FAGM rally. So you could use the S&P 500. I'm telling you, I believe the velocity of a downward move would be a hell of a lot more with 2,000 of the mid-cap names. Medium-sized banks, $100 million businesses, not Apple that's got $250 billion. The other reason I wouldn't use SPX is because Jeff Bezos and Tim Cook could find in their couch enough money to get them through an October surprise. Will they take a hit if it's something horrific? Yes, but money flows somewhere. And if there's when there's an October surprise, people will, money flocks. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but are the FAGMs a flight to safety? Yeah, maybe. So, Joe, very long answer to your short question. That's why I'm looking at the RUT, because I think, yeah, and we already looked at the RUT versus the S&P 500. If there's going to be a pullback, these 2,000 names are going to get hammered a hell of a lot more than the 5 names in the S&P 500. Does that make sense? Karen, brilliant. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, no. I failed explaining at it earlier then. Does that everybody give me a vertical head nod? That's why I would do the rut over the S&P 500. And I usually don't trade the rut. I'm an S&P 500 dude. For downside, the rut's going to get hammered. The mid caps will be destroyed. Good. Okay. Sweet. All right. Got a lot of good vertical head nods. Excellent explanation. Thank you. Haven't seen those words in a while. All right. So this is, and it seems so basic, but I just told you, the rubbing elbows at the Hedge Fund Association in West Palm Beach. Somebody who throws out that they're buying puts or doing something with calls, they look like the guy just landed from Mars. So this most basic tactic, just flying out in your F-35 Joint Strike Fighter to November, and folks, I would buy these and put them in my filing cabinet and not look at them. You know that you have protection on, and you're good. Get back to being long only, trading the market you have, not the one you want. But if between now and November, the third Friday of November, the murder hornets, race riots, and COVID all join forces with the drinks, the market's in trouble. I'm going to use this. I love the movie Patton. On my bookshelf that I'm looking at, my dad has the Patton Papers, like the first edition Patton Papers book. It's one of my treasured possessions. At the end of the movie Patton, George C. Scott, who refused his Oscar for Patton and sent a Native American woman instead. Very classy move. Was that him? Yeah. Or was it Marlon Brando? No, George C. Scott. Yes, Tamara, very well put. Even round 2 of the COVID will hurt the Russell more than the S&P. Very well put. Judy, no, that's wrong. Rut is too expensive for smaller accounts. Just don't hedge, or is there an alternative? Judy, no, this is about the percentage return. You could use IWM. It's the iShares Russell 2000. You might feel better buying 30 puts over here, but it's the same percentage if it implodes. Implosion. Please do not think about that. You have to come to the full throttle training. Does that make sense? Do not. It's about the percentage. If I can buying one contract of the rut could be equivalent to buying 100 of the Russell of the iShares. No. That's like options 101. Don't think like that. It's the same. I'll teach you this tomorrow in solo Amazon. I can only afford one contract of Amazon. It's up 100 grand in the past 3 months. Oh, right. So no. I'm running out of time, but I'm glad you asked that. Does Judy, yes, the IWM is okay, but maybe you showed up late. There's better tax treatment if you trade the rut. If you trade an index over the ETF, here's the lawyer word, potentially could get better tax treatment. Okay? Yeah, you can even sell the front month upside calls against. Yeah, absolutely. So hold on, where was I going? And I can't believe I went over an hour. So here's and this is a great tactic. If you are in a name like the rut, Wiz, you sold me. I want to put some, I call them disaster puts. It's, who said this the other day? Either Sledge or Goose said, the famous aviation, I'd rather have a gun and have it than reach for it and not have it, or whatever it was. Or I'd rather be on the ground. Oh boy, the Fox News reporter getting yelled at. God, I can't stand this shit. It's like runway behind you or altitude above you. Thomas, oh yeah, Tamara. That's why Tamara's fantastic for Top Gun options. I totally missed that. Thank you for reminding. Ladies and gentlemen, the Russell, the S&P 500, SPX, they settle in cash. Meaning, if a trade goes against you, it's assigned. It's done through cash. You don't end up one day short 500 shares of Russell of IWM in your account, or long, depending on what you did, it settles in cash. I love it. Great reminder. Trading, if you don't know what it settles in cash means, welcome aboard Top Gun Options. You need to be a member, and I will teach you what settlement means. Chris, every index settles in cash. Every index settles in cash. Every ETF settles in shares. Big difference. Very good, Tamara. You get the gold star for tonight. Guys, I only wanted to go an hour. I was going to say, you could keep right. Here's what I was going to say about this. Buying puts on the Russell. The RUT, not IWM. IWM's up right now. I don't want to click another button. Stay in the name. Don't have 33 positions in your account. If you bought disaster puts, if you buy disaster puts on the RUT out to October to protect yourself, stay in the name, meaning maybe you trade some bull put spreads in the front month. You stay in the name, meaning you know price action. I was wrong 10 minutes ago when I said buy some puts and put them in a filing cabinet. Forget about them. That's wrong. Strike that. Delete that. Stay in the name. You know the price action. You know what's going on. So you can even get those puts paid for. Maybe do a bull put spread each week or whatever the market's showing you. Stay in the name. You're going to learn in Solo Amazon tomorrow that having 33 positions is stupid. I do this for a living, and 10 to 15 positions is nuts. Don't be an F-18 pilot, a jack of all trades, master of none, right? We were an FA-18 Hornet, fighter attack. I think the Hornet could carry 85 weapons. I think I knew how to use 10 of them, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, my glass of wine is empty. Exactly, Howard. Stay in the name and become familiar with one instrument. Karen, clean up your cockpit. You're right. Eagles rule. Exactly. Eric, very good point. Eric Trader, I like the last name. Another monster advantage of indices versus index ETFs is American versus European style settlement. Very good point. Index options have no possibility of early assignment. Great point, Eric. Love it. Right through the bullseye. If you don't know what that meant either, you're not a TGO member, and I'm going to teach you what that means. Right? Royce, I'm making much more on Amazon Iron Condors weekly than anything else. Good for you, man. Awesome. All right, guys. So officially we are done with Full Throttle. Okay. I think Susie just got home with the kids. I don't know if we have all 50 or not, but here's your monthly. I'll put the link in the chat box tomorrow. So Full Throttle is done. 5 live trade briefs. This is always a busy week for me. And one of the reasons that we only do 50 is because we can't have a zoo. I'm not being rude. Even though there's great questions in chat, we don't have all the time. So we keep it to a tight knit squadron. Why? So nobody leaves a trade brief or one of these Full Throttle training briefs with a question mark over their head or a clue bird flapping on their shoulder. I'm here, but when you got 780 people in a room like we did the other day, I can't. First of all, it gives me agita. As an instructor, it drives me nuts. Why? Because I want to sit here. I want to have another glass of wine and talk the rest of the night about options because I love this stuff. Not options, but the market and just everything in general. So monthly. So a bunch of people asked today about the quarterly. I wasn't even going to brief on that. So thank you for asking. The quarterly is a good deal. Try it for 3 months. And then the annual is, you can upgrade, folks. Somebody did today. They went from their quarterly and emailed support and did the annual. So welcome aboard. All right, guys. Tomorrow we will do Solo Amazon at 1 o'clock. For members, welcome aboard, new members. We do a weekly debrief every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. So I will see some of you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. It's Full Throttle's over with, folks. We're done. Thank you. Good night. Try the veal with Full Throttle. So tomorrow, Solo Amazon, $97. I'm going to tack. You don't have to sign up for Solo Amazon. It's the same link that you got in here tonight. We'll send the link out an hour before tomorrow's webinar. It's the same link that we've been using all week. I didn't want to confuse people. Pamela, nice job. Wiz, always learn something. Thank you. Drew, happy to hear, new member and looking forward to all of it! Exclamation point. I like the way you think. Do me a favor, all the new members. Here is your first good week, even from yeah, Karen. This was a fantastic week. Everybody who is a new member, this isn't optional. This isn't a request. This is actually an order. You must watch the getting started video. Please don't email support like, hey, where do I find this? How do I do that? I update this getting started video every couple months when Susie, this is like our SOP that grows. Hey, people are confused about this. All right, I'll shoot a new getting started brief. Everything is in this video. I'm not going to beg you. I'm going to order you. If you are a new member, click on this video. It's 15, 20 minutes where everything is and how everything works here. Okay. Barry, will Amazon be recorded? I'm a solo member, but I have a doctor's appointment. You bet, Barry. Everything's recorded this week. Oh, good point, Goose. So, folks, when you become a member, also get into what we call the ready room, man. There is some great freaking stuff in here. I could not be happier with what's going on in here. Paper target trade idea, target, bottom line cost on stock, SPX put, dividend risk, Apple synthetic stock, Pete's Coffee IPO. This is a fantastic resource. I learned more about flying and fighting the F-18 in the ready room than I did from a book or anything else. The interaction you can have, there are some great threads in here, man. It's just, it's awesome. Cindy, who's been a fantastic addition. She's a nurse. Thank you for your service, Cindy, on the front lines of the healthcare and this COVID disaster. This woman is bringing home the bacon as a nurse, and she is buried herself in the Top Gun options, and she has been knocking it out of the park. But she's got a great thread on profit taking. 15 people jumped in. This has been, I learned stuff in here, man. So this is great. So you're not alone, ladies and gentlemen. The worst feeling, well, it wasn't a worse feeling for me because that's all I had. Al Gore hadn't invented the internet, folks. That's how old I am when I started trading options. I remember going to the base, we had a base library, folks, and getting a book on options. Dude, I sat there and taught. I'm self-learned. I'm educated. This stuff, I built Top Gun options for me, not for me that way, for a me. I wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, folks. If I had all this shit back when I was starting trading options, I'd be Gordon Gekko. So this is a great resource, man, the Ready Room. And Goose has been knocking it out of the park in there as well with some good stuff. Paul, Cindy is smart. She is brilliant. Cindy, I hope you're in here. She's we're friends on Facebook. She's a nurse. Like I said, she's a great American. She didn't know how to spell the word options when she started, and now she is turning into a young Jedi master. So fantastic. So yeah, thanks Goose for bringing that up. Good mutual support. Get in the Ready Room, folks. Once you become a member, go post something. Remember, I can't give individual investment advice. I won't. I don't know. That's what registered investment advisors do, or certified financial planners. You go out to lunch, they sit there, they learn all. I can't. I can't give individual investment advice. So whenever Susie emails me something, like, don't email support with like, hey, what do I do with this trade? I'm not going to answer it. You post it in the Ready Room, I can answer it, because then it's to everybody. Remember, individual investment advice is one-on-one. Me to group is in the Ready Room. And to be honest with you, I go in here like 2 times a day. There's already like 9 answers to it. I'm like, wow, I'm getting replaced in the Ready Room, and I love it. It's fantastic. So keep up the good work in the Ready Room. Yeah, no, when you become a member, here's the drop down. You just click on Ready Room, and then also do it this weekend, folks. All the new folks, start watching the old, I call them old, March full throttle training sessions. Look at this one on March 17th. This was the cover of the Wall Street Journal. This was South Florida. Remember, all these spring breakers were having rip your face off parties down here in South Florida. I was like, oh man, that picture's going to live in infamy. Look at this one. March 12th, full throttle video. What is on the screen right there, folks? Bolsonaro, Trump, Pence, and the press secretary of Brazil, who was infected with COVID, and he was at Mar-a-Lago. Go watch just go watch these to watch them from March. But this was before the world ended, man. We nailed it. Love it. Okay, guys, that's it. I'm out. Going to go spend time with the family. Another busy day tomorrow for me. 10 o'clock debrief for members. Get your monthly or quarterly or annual, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10. Or if you want to come check out our solo Amazon service, it'll be tomorrow at 1, and it is recorded. Everything's on the replay pages, guys, right here. So here's today's, I'll post this, the accelerated retirement. What a great accelerated retirement brief today. I had fun in that one. Well, anytime you make 15 grand in 2.5 days, it's fun. That ain't every week, folks. Just I don't want to be that dude. I got my S&P puts on and VIX. I don't look at those as quote losing money right now, but there's red. I got red in my portfolio. I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke that I'm freaking X cap on billions, but losses happen. But hey man, $15,000 in 2.5 days is pretty damn good. All right, guys, have a great rest of your night. Had a blast. If you don't join Full Throttle now, maybe we'll see you next quarter. Maybe it's the time just isn't right for you. No worries, man. Hopefully in these 5 free sessions, you at least learned something, okay? And can't we all get along? Please, I pray to God that this country heals and we all come together. This just doesn't work, man. This doesn't work in its current form. Look at that. My God, on Fox News, just the White House in the background with surrounded by troops. Christ, what is this? The War of 1812? All right, not going to end on a low note. We'll get through this. We're America. This is the best freaking place on the face of this planet, man. I've been to some shitholes. We rock, America. All right, guys, have a great rest of your night. I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. For my members or solo Amazon at 1 p.m. God bless, and thanks for coming to Full Throttle. Good night.